this will be your review work. When you get your test back, you're going to fill out an assessment analysis for each problem you missed, just like last test. Do your review work.
So it's best to lead an activity if you've already done it once. So you'll be able to understand where they're going to have some misconceptions before. Okay? Right, there you go. First time to you.
I didn't work out the equation.
You just saw that +5.
Yeah.
Okay. And you got it now?
Yeah.
Much better this time, huh? Finding your mistakes?
Miss Cummins. Are you out? Okay, so that's okay. I think it says or you run out of minutes. So you can say one now. Thank you. Okay. So you can stop here.
After each time, you should pick up approximate the percentage. 50%. To calculate percentage, you can calculate percentage change for each trial.
So it's like 3.
Go your calculator. What do you think your calculator is doing when you type this in? What is it going to do first? Or it might multiply, but it's not going to do that first. So go in here and show me now what you should do using word operations. And I have to know which parts to print off for you. So that's why I need to know when you come. But many of you can come at the same time to test.
We can come in at lunch though.
You can come in at lunch to test, not for review time, but to test.
So we have to do review time?
Have to do review time before you test. So you can go ahead and schedule your... That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Talk to Mom. And if you need to come in at lunch, that's okay too.
Can I see that pencil? You have lunch in the middle of lunch?
Actually, I'll just leave the last one.
In like the past math classes, we could only we take the test one time, and once we were finished, we were just done with it. We move on to the next thing. So we if we missed something, we didn't understand it, we wouldn't go back and redo it. So we just move on and learn new stuff. And so if you don't understand something, you learn from your mistakes, which is really helpful. And then you go through and you do extra work on the problems that you missed and the problems you got right. You obviously knew, so you don't have to do that extra work that you do with ones you didn't know. Well, it takes more time. It does, but rewriting the learning targets and then focusing more on just the targets that I missed, it makes me really think about the problems more, and I learn more that way. Yeah, and it's kind of cool to see the learning targets and see what you actually had to learn and be able to say, I need to learn how to write, a formula explicitly or something. It's kind of cool to know exactly what you missed instead of just a problem that was on the test. So the learning targets is a really cool thing that you have to know. And she'll check and make sure you did all your assessment analysis and all your homework throughout the section or the chapter before you took that test, and then afterwards so that you're ready to take round 2. I learn more. Yeah, it's a lot easier for me to learn from my mistakes. So when I see I make those mistakes on the test, then I can go back and say, oh my goodness, I can't believe I made that mistake, or oh, I see what I did here, and then it's permanently in my mind from that point on.
So then when Mrs. Cummins described to your class how she was going to change the grading practices this year, what were your initial thoughts?
I was scared. I was like, oh no. Because last year, Most of our grade came from doing our homework and participating and stuff, but now it's like tests, 100% of our grade, homework doesn't even count. I was really scared.
Reporting.
I'd just say don't be afraid of it. I think it's cool, and I know a lot of teachers are going to say, it's a lot of work for me. But I like it because I feel like Miss Cummins really, gives 110% and wants us to be the best we can be and wants us not just to get a good grade, but to make sure we know it. So I think it's really cool for a teacher to care that much that we get hundreds on all of our tests and to understand the learning targets and the content.
Yeah, I would highly recommend going down that road because I learned so much more. I really do. And Miss Cummins does a really good job teaching everything. And if you don't understand something, she'll explain it to you. So.
I feel like before, when we would write down learning targets, we were just writing them down. You didn't really know what I was telling you to do. It's just hey, there's our learning target. And then by the end of the day, I don't even really feel like I could answer it. But now, as the whole grading system and as it's all improved, I really know, what each learning target means and how I can apply that with everything.
That, with the old system, you would miss, you got really bad on your homework because you don't understand it. But with this, it, tells you what you specifically, miss or what you specifically know, so you kind of comprehend what you need to work on and what you don't really need to work on. But with the old system, you don't really know. You just kind of swing with it and be oh, missed that one, don't really know what else I need to work on. With learning targets, it helps a lot because I personally now know what, I need to work on graphing or I need to work on equations and just stuff like that. It helps a lot. Well, I learn more after the test than I do before, and it just helps me learn more to know what I need to fix.
Yeah, I really love this way that it's all set up because before, most teachers, they don't even do any way of corrections. So even if you did get it wrong, you're just kind of oh, well, now I'm stuck. I don't know where I went wrong. I don't know how to get better. I don't know. And even if they did have corrections, most of the time you're just hey, what's the right answer for this? Because I obviously didn't get it. And you just write that. So, but with this way, you apply everything. You know exactly where you went wrong. You know exactly how to fix it. It goes step by step, and then you retake it, and your grade gets better. I love it. And not only did before you just got the grade, even if you did do corrections and you got the good grade that you wanted, you still might not know it. You would get your grade up, but you still might not really understand it. But with this, if you do more work and you put in the effort for everything, then not only will your grade be where you want it, but you're also going to feel more confident with the grade that you have because you know it. You can apply it.
Mm-hmm. Our grade reflects of what we learn. With homework, everybody does their homework, but another student can just copy each other's homework and get that 100. But this is all our own work.
And I'm the one that always does the silly mistakes. So after knowing what you do and knowing how you can prevent it, it just helps us to get ready for end of course because, end of course we need to be able to show all the work that we've done this year. And if we just put our test away after we got it wrong and we can't correct it, then how are we going to be prepared for end of course? So that's why I really like it, and I feel like I'm getting better prepared than what I would have done the other way. So
I will have to go to round 2, but I think by round 2 I'll understand it more because I just did a couple silly mistakes. I understood it, but there were some misconceptions on some of my targets, but I got help today, and now I understand it.
I actually got 100 on the test, and I think me going through round 3 on the first test was more of a motivation to do good on the second test, because going all the way, and you get frustrated with yourself, and you have to do extra work with that, And so that really motivated me to study for the first place, and it paid off.
Actually, if you don't do your homework assignments, then you don't get to go on to the next round.
That's how Ms. Cummins has it set up. If you don't do your homework, then you can't retest, and if you don't do you have to have your analysis and your homework and your original test to be able to retest.
It doesn't hurt us, but it helps us a whole lot.
I mean, it helps you get prepared for the test, so. Ms. Cummins, she actually put it in a spreadsheet, and she saw that we had only like 2 people master this one column. So she knew that she had to reteach it again, and that was really helpful for her and for us because we got the knowledge too. It's not an easy way out if that's how people think of it, by retesting. It's actually building on your skills that you don't know, and I would really recommend it. I think it's a great tool. I wish we would have done this a long time ago, back when I was in middle school.
Why? Why do you wish that?
I could have known a lot more. Like, my foundation would have been a lot stronger than it already is.
Because I feel like I didn't get that base sometimes because I forget it, or I didn't completely learn it all the way. I think this is the first year we've like really hit home on targets. Like, we would have them up on the board and we'd read them, and then that'd be the end of it. We didn't relate how the targets relate to our work and put everything together.
At first, I really did not like learning targets. I didn't see why we needed them. You know, teachers would write them on their board, but we never went over them, or they would just read them and go. And now it's finally starting to work. You have to have like the whole picture, or the little chunks of it won't work.
At first, I looked at them as if they were silly. I just thought they were baby stuff. Like, oh, I can do summation notation.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I really can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it requires more work, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's negative because it helps you, but there is more work to it. Like teachers, they have to grade your test and then find out which problems you got wrong.
Like an individual test per individual student. I mean
it's more,
that's not easy for a teacher, by all means. But if they really want their students to excel, they would do